everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk about Black History Month. The month that is a celebration of my people, because I am a black man and everything. And it's about all our accomplishments, all the oppression that we have gone through over like centuries of living in like America and stuff like that. And even till this day, we are still being oppressed. And so I'm here today to talk to you about certain characters or TV shows or episodes that revolve around Black History Month that I personally enjoy. So I'm here today to talk to you about Power Rangers Ninja Steel episode Monkey Business. So this is a Haley focused episode. Well, kind of a Haley and Calvin episode. But since it's a Black History Month, we're only gonna focus on Haley. And so first let me just start that I hate Ninja Steel. I hate it. 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 Like, I don't know which is my least favorite. It's either Ninja Steel or Samurai. Which, how in the world did Power Rangers manage to mess up both a Samurai and a ninja themed season? I don't understand it. I mean, heck, even like Alien Rangers was a bit better than like these two seasons. At least it had more of a solid story, and it was only 10 episodes. It was sillier, but it was way better than these two. And so, like, I was so disappointed with Ninja Steel because Dino Charge was pretty good. Dino Charge was like really really good, and it was the first like Nickelodeon one I ever saw, the Neo Saban. And so with the ninja thing, I'm like, okay, ninjas, they have cool costumes. The cast looks pretty cool. They created their own morphers and everything. So what could go wrong? Everything. Boy, Saban went way out with like the silliness, the humor, the toy marketing, everything. And I mean, it was there was so much stuff like unexplained with this season. It never explained why they're blasters in the shape of frogs. Um, then there was the whole Nexus Prism thing, which now they had to explain in Dino Fury a little bit. It took all those seasons for them to finally explain that thing. And so, like, this was just like a really silly, like, unexplained, poorly written, like, season. And what makes it worse is that when it comes to Haley, she got the short end of the stick, man. Because, like, it was hard to find a Haley Focus Center episode. I could only find, like, three. Originally, I reviewed My Friend Robot. And I was going to have that for this, like, Black History thing. But I found myself just talking about more negative stuff than positive stuff because I couldn't find anything positive to say about that episode or about Haley. So I'm sorry, I'm going to scrap that and do this one. And the reason why it's so hard to like talk positive about her is because she is the only ranger in this season who has no character development of any kind. She barely has any storyline. She's just there to give like support to like the other Rangers and to be Calvin's girlfriend. And that is it. Like, and it's sad because she's the very first black person to play a white ranger. She's a very lovely looking woman. She is really good at acting. She can pull off an American fake accent because she's from New Zealand and stuff. So if you want to see her act, just go watch Wheel of Time on Amazon. But like, yeah, it's just like it was just so hard to like find anything positive to say about her because the writers let her down. And because like one thing I've noticed, okay, like so she dates Calvin and that's about it. And she's really supportive of him and she's a really friendly person. But then towards the middle and end of each season, because it lasted for two seasons, they started making her into a nagging girlfriend, even to the point where they break up. But mostly because Calvin is just so laid back and lazy. And so she had every right to nag, but still they have her as the nagging girlfriend. And so, like, when it comes to her, I can't even think what, like, is so special, like her special hobby trait is. I can't think of one. I know she has a wolf named Cody, but how did she get him? Like, it doesn't explain how you gonna have a wolf for a dog and everything. And so, like, because with the other Rangers, it's like, okay, Sarah is like the genius and builds stuff. Calvin is the mechanic. Preston is the magician. Levi is the cowboy singer. And Brody is just like the human dude who was like lost in space, was like a prisoner and like a slave type thing. And he comes down to Earth, and but he still has a lot more to do because he's the Red Ranger leader and stuff. And so this season, I just particularly just can't stand. And like, I remember one of the things that really bugged me is that, okay, they always starts off the beginning with like an intro type, recap type thing. And they say the greatest ninja of all time is a white boy. It's Brody and Levi's dad. Really, the greatest ninja of all time is a white dude. Couldn't even be Asian. Like, what the world is that about? And so it is never explained like how Levi and Brody turned out to be so tan. Because they look like they're Hispanic or something. And so it's like, but their dad is white, so that never made no sense. And don't even get me started on Mechanic. I can't stand Mick. Mick gets on my nerves in this season. I don't like how goofy he is. I don't like how he looks like Doc Brown. Um, he's always giving advice. I don't understand how he's so wise, and it's like he's so goofy and silly, and it's like he spent most of his years being a slave, and when he was a mop. 'Cause he can shapeshift and stuff. But I digress. Okay, let's get on to this episode. So they're in high school, these rangers, because they're teenagers, and so Haley's talking to the principal. She tells her, I think you'll make a great student body president. And I don't understand why, because Haley has never really done anything to like show that she is. So I don't understand. Like, so it would have been nice to see those traits in the other episodes. But then the principal looks at Calvin. She's like, "Wouldn't you make a great body, student body president too?" So basically, she's just trying to get people to run, and she wants people to run because she doesn't want Vincent to run. Oh God, that's another thing I don't like about this show. Monty and Vincent. Lord, Lord have mercy. The Bulk and Skull wannabes. Lord have mercy. Oh God. No, wait, is his name not Vincent? I think that's his last name. Victor and Monty is Victor Vincent. And it is Victor and Monty. Lord, I could not stand those two. Nothing against the actors, but Lord, they wrote those boys tear. I hate humor in Power Rangers. Can't they just go back to like Lost Galaxy and with the more darker tones? So anyway, this causes a rift between like Calvin and Haley because she like doesn't like think he's student body president material because in the beginning of this episode she had to walk all the way to school because he forgot to pick her up because he slept in, and so that's when she starts nagging him and everything. And I really like when those two like argue because like this is what's strange and odd. They have no chemistry, like the two characters. And yet they're boyfriend and girlfriend. And they started off as boyfriend and girlfriend in the series. And of course, because this is Power Rangers, they're not allowed to kiss on the lips. So they had to kiss on the cheek. And so it's always weird seeing that and stuff. But it's like the two characters have like no chemistry whatsoever. Which is ironic because the two stars, I believe, dated in real life, but they've broken up now. Because I think he's married to somebody completely different. And I don't know what happened to her because she deleted her Instagram like page and stuff. But anyway, so like So this causes a rift between those two. So they're both gonna run. And so the team of Rangers decide they're gonna split up and support the other person. And so you know what's gonna happen now. Well, there's a monster. There's a reason why it's called Monkey Business. And I always thought to myself, why in the world is the episode like half focused on the black girl and it's called Monkey Business? I'm like, that's kind of offensive. But then I found out why. Because the monster kind of looks like a monkey. His face kind of does, but and his body's fuzzy. But he has these floppy like bunny ears and stuff. So maybe they assume, maybe the creators assumed it was a monkey. Cause you know sometimes they do that. And so anyway, oh by the way, Cody's not in this episode. Sadly, he's in the episode a lot in My Friend the Robot. So. And that's another thing, Redbot. Like he just disappears throughout the entire series. He would have been a unique alpha type character, but he's not. And so like he's like recording their voices and stuff. He's able to mimic voices. And so they see him. And so like, you know, they fight him morphed and everything. Now Haley is the White Ranger with like pink outlines. However, every time you see her power, like it's purple. So I never understood that. Why didn't they just make her like I don't know. Anyways, so like you know what's really interesting is that okay, she's tall, right? She's like pretty tall. But then yeah, her stunt actor is pretty short and stuff. So I never understood that. So anyways, they like, you know, fight the monster and all this and that. So then it's time to do like the student body president stuff, the campaigning stuff. So they're campaigning left and right. She has her poster, Calvin's is bigger. He ends up stealing her mom's cupcake recipe, which pisses her off. And so he can try to get votes. And he's trying with like balloons and everything, right? But she tries to top him by having a giant weather balloon type thing and top him off with her mom's cake. And so like first of all, that was messed up. He stole like her mom's like cupcake recipe. Like how low down was that, dude? Like no wonder she gets on to him and stuff like that. And so like but then at one point he tells like, you know, he does his speech. And she tells him, you know, if she wasn't running against him, she would vote for him. Well, Victor and Monty don't want them to win because he still wants to be the president. So they have like a cupcake. Well, they have like a food fight, and they do some other stuff. This is strike two. The principal said one more shenanigan out of y'all, and y'all be disqualified. Not Victor and Monty, but Haley and Calvin, because she assumes they the one who started like the fight. So anyway, the monster is now trying to like. Oh, by the way, the main villains in this, like the main like boss villain, doesn't even show up in this episode. So yeah, that's something. Like Galvanax doesn't even show up. So anyway, what is it? Oh, now man, the monster is now trying to like start his plan of attack. So he calls the Rangers one by one, pretending to be them, telling them that hey, you know, the person on the other team started the cupcake fight or the food fight, and so they start to believe him. So first, I believe who is it first? Calvin. That's it. First is Calvin. So he gets attacked and he gets his ninja star stolen. Then is Brody and it's Sarah. And so then they get theirs taken away and they get tied up and left someplace blindfolded. Well, with the other three Rangers, they call like Haley and Preston and they believe it. And then they see Mechanic, who only appears for like briefly in this episode, to give some wisdom like advice. And so like they're all like, you know, he's all like, where y'all going? And they're all like, you know, to confront what's their faces because they started the food fight. He's all like, well, that doesn't sound like them. And she's like, well, what's the face told me on the phone it was them. And he's like, well, that doesn't sound like them either. So then he gives her some advice. First of all, how does he even know what went on and he wasn't even there? And, so she's right to believe the fake phone call because what's the name told him and she was actually there. Now, the thing about Mechanic, I never understood is that, okay, their fortress is underneath the school. It's like a mechanical room where they do all their ranger crap, right? Now, Mick, this is what doesn't make no sense about him. His appearance is very striking, especially with the hair. It looks like a lion's mane and thick, bushy eyebrows, right? Now, he works at the school as a mechanic. But here's the thing. Him and Brody was on the same like alien ship where they were slaves and everything. So Mechanic is an alien, a shapeshifting one. And he's been in outer space his entire life, never been to Earth. Then when they escape, they head to Earth. And somehow, with no credentials, no social security number, no home of address, no nothing, he is able to get get a work at a high school. I've always found that bizarre and weird. And this is why I say the writing is bad in this season, and which is why it's one of the worst seasons ever. And that is not realistic whatsoever. But I digress. So Levi and Haley, they morph and they fight the monster. And so like the monster and the foot soldiers. And then so Preston, he's gonna be in his ninja stealth mode. Now that's another thing about this season, the ninja suit stealth mode. Those ninja suits were terrible. How do you mess up a ninja theme season? And we never really get to see them train in their ninja stuff, except for like one time. And it's just like, how do you mess up a ninja theme season? So anyways, oh, Lord have mercy. Anyways, um, so they're busy fighting the monster. Haley is not so much leading the charge, but she's getting some good licks in. And so, like, Preston is like rescuing the other people. It takes him a good long to rescue them and stuff. It's like, dude, you're supposed to be this like really good martial artist, and you can't even fight no foot soldiers. So by the time it takes the other two to get the ninja stars back, he's the same amount of time it takes him to beat some foot soldiers. And so like Haley used one of her ninja skills to like make holes in like the ground and so that the monster will fall in there and she can steal the ninja stars back. But the monster is too clever. Well, too fast, whatever. So she decides she's gonna sink down in the hole, and then while he's fighting Levi, she's gonna rise up and steal like the pouch of ninja stars, which she does. And so like after the other rangers get theirs back, they morph. And then so they fight a little bit more, and then he turns himself big. And so they have to call on the Zords. Now, one thing I said in the other review that I didn't that I just decided to delete is that one of the things that bugged me the most is that when Brody, since he's the leader, since whenever he's like calling the Zords and they do the sword fight, he's constantly talking. It's always out of the shadows and this and that, ninja da 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 and na 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 na, and Ninja Ranger, no danger. It's like they have so many catchphrases in this season, and he will not shut up. It gets on my nerves because he's basically just reciting so much stuff, so many catchphrases. And this was early in the Nickelodeon season when they did all these catchphrases that were just like redundant and stupid. And I'm so glad they don't do that no more. But anyway, when they do fight, they are in the cockpits where it's like, the reused ones where it's like a room, they stand up and they do each other moves. I hate that. I'm tired of seeing that. I could not believe that Dino Fury redid that, all because they went the cheap route again. Like Hasbro bucked up a lot of money for Beast Morphers, but then they decided, you know what, we're just gonna go that Saban cheap route because it's faster. Ugh. And I will say this, their cockpit suits do look cool, a lot better than most, but I don't like the fact that they wear cockpit suits because it's kind of like they look like bowlizers. And so if that's so, then just give it to like one of the Rangers. But of course, the Red Ranger is supposed to be the only one to have a bowlizer. But then yet in all these newer seasons, they're giving bowlizers to like other Rangers, or they get to use the bowlizer, which makes no sense. And so like so that established rule in Dino Thunder is now not canon no more. And so, like, now I will say, I do love that little chainsaw looking sword they got. That thing is cool. I would love for Hasbro to make that. Hasbro needs to get on this stuff, man. We need new morphers, helmets, toys. Like, seriously, I like pre-ordered some stuff last year. It still has not got here yet because they're still doing the Hasbro Pulse stuff first. And it's like, man, now I'd rather just wait like a long time on eBay and buy it like at a crazy high expensive price than to do something pre-order because it's taking too long and stuff. And so like um whatchamacallit. So, like, they defeat the monster, of course, and everything. And it never explained why the Zords look the way that, um, it's okay. I'll explain. So, remember how I said Haley has a wolf? Well, she has a wolf Zord. Brody has Red Bot, and now he has some type of battle bot thing that looks like Red Bot. Sarah had a hoverboard early in this season, and now she has a hoverboard type Zord. And Preston, for some reason, has a dragon. And so, like, it's never explained how, like, they have Zords that look like things that they own themselves. And so Haley is able to get the upper attack on the monster because he's using his sonic waves to disrupt the circuitry of like their Zords. So they're like immobilized. So she uses her Kodiak Zord to like use its sonic waves to disrupt like, the monster and stuff. Anyway, it's defeated. Now we're getting back to the student body stuff. So Haley and Calvin like, oh, I'm sorry, and everything, to each other and stuff. And they decide they're gonna drop out the race, which is stupid. One of them should have stayed in. It should not have been Calvin, because he's only did it just to piss off like Haley. And if Haley was so called like so good at being a student body president, then let her do it. It was her focus episode. So they both drop, and then it's Monty and no, it's Victor who gets to like stay the president. But they had a surprise for them. They was gonna like drop water balloons on whoever the winner was. So of course it was Victor. I don't like those two. I wish they would have wrote her character better, Haley. Because everybody gets a lot to do in this season. Everybody gets character development, but she doesn't. I still to this day don't know what her hobby trait is. And if I was to look it up on like online, I'll probably find it out. But they should tell you more in the show. And that's something they just don't do. It just sucks she got the short end of the stick, which is something I've noticed a lot when it comes to black people playing Power Rangers and stuff. It's like they get fewer episodes, they get little character development. If they do get a focus episode, it's normally shared with like somebody else. And it's ridiculous how they do that. And the casting director does that on purpose because Power Rangers is predominantly white, like series. The fans are predominantly white. The white stars get like the better roles, so it's not a coincidence that that happens. It's something that they do on purpose. I mean, look at the Mighty Morphin season. They made the black guy the Black Ranger and the Asian girl the Yellow Ranger. Happy Black History Month, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye.